So I've been playing a lot of Black Ops 4 lately, and it's no secret that I was a big defender of Black Ops 4 when it first released, and I still love it. However, I've always felt like something was off about Alpha Omega. There was always something that I didn't like. However, mechanically, I enjoy it. When I'm playing Alpha Omega, I say, hey, this is a pretty enjoyable experience. It's not perfect, and I've tried to describe my dislike for it in a multitude of different ways, like saying the atmosphere isn't good, there's no unique boss zombies, the wonder weapon kind of falls flat, and all of those things contribute, but even then, it doesn't really quite encapsulate how I feel about it. And if you beautiful people know me, it drives me crazy when I feel something and can't explain why. And I have never been able to find the right word to describe what I think Alpha Omega is lacking. Till today. My biggest issue with Alpha Omega is that it lacks spectacle. So what do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. In order to open up Pack-a-Punch on Alpha Omega, you need to complete a lockdown, which is a fairly common occurrence in zombies. You activate a computer, the doors lock, Nova crawlers emerge from some vents, there's some peppy music, and then it just ends. Nothing bad about that. Mechanically, like I said, we've seen it before, pretty good. Let's compare that to a map that I think does spectacle so well. Ancient Evil. To activate the Sentinel artifact, you need to complete a similar lockdown. But it's not just a simple lockdown. You walk into the theater with the audience facing towards you. Perseus arrives on the podium above you and announces your defeat. Skeletons rise from the ground. Zombies break out of their prima material crystals and start rushing you. As you're becoming more and more overwhelmed by these zombies, you hear the roar of Pegasus heroically swoop in and lightning attack all of the enemies. As the lockdown ends, we hear that familiar chant,
"Let the games begin."
Now you have seen him.
Mechanically, these two are basically identical. Simple lockdowns with a small introduction of the map's boss zombies. Nothing crazy, but the way Ancient Evil presents this lockdown elevates it to an entirely new level. It provides a more engaging and, in my opinion, fun experience. And I think that's worth bringing up here. This is a lot of personal preference. I think one of the reasons that I found this so difficult to put into words is because spectacle can be very subjective. What I find spectacular, you may not find spectacular, and what we define as spectacular or what a spectacle is may vary depending on our personal preferences. But I find there's not a lot of spectacle in Alpha Omega. Turning on power and Pack-a-Punch is fairly box standard, there's not a lot of fanfare, and even when it comes down to the reveal of the boss zombies of the map, like I said, Nova crawlers just kind of crawl out of the vents. Whereas the skeletons on Ancient Evil obviously have Perseus announcing their existence and them self-assembling from the ground even with their spears and their shield. The dogs in Alpha Omega just spawn in like they did way back in Shinonuma. But the Giganese, oh my goodness, the Giganese, when you pick up a specific part in Ancient Evil, it's kind of like a trap. As soon as you pick up that bridle, the Giganese throws his spear and he jumps out, and it's presented so well. And it's not just Ancient Evil either. When you open up Pack-a-Punch on Dead of the Night, the werewolf jumps from tree to tree and then roars and then attacks you. It's a spectacle. And this spectacle could even be extended to describe the atmosphere. In Alpha Omega, it's just Nevada. The entire setting and atmosphere of Ancient Evil is a spectacle. And I'm not saying that every single map needs to be as over the top as 9 and Ancient Evil. There does need to be room for a more subtle and subdued zombies experience. I think one of the biggest strengths of the Zombies franchise is the fact that each map kind of has its own unique experience. We can't have the same mechanics, the same way of opening up Pack-a-Punch, the same way of building a map in every single map, otherwise it would get stale and it would get boring. We need the giants in order to counterbalance the shadows of evils. But I'm just so relieved that I finally found a word to describe how I feel about Alpha Omega. If I'm being completely honest, how I feel about Tag der Toten 2. I feel like both of those maps really lack a lot of the spectacle that we got in basically, I guess, all of Zombies before it. But if all this Alpha Omega talk has got you itching to play Alpha Omega, well, be sure to check out that video, subscribe, and stay beautiful.